Okay, so this video, hopefully, if we're out of school virtually for a while, hopefully this video will help. You can go back and watch this. This is the practice test that we just took yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and go over it. Hopefully the HD processed version will be done by in the morning. If not, then I'll post it as soon as I can. All right, so number one, and I'm also going to go over this while we're actually in class, but this video will be posted. That way people can go back and look at it. Number one says, write an equation of the line with a slope of -3/2 and a y-intercept of 1. All right, you guys obviously can see right here the answer is the third one, at least on mine. I'll be switching back and forth screens. That way I can show you kind of why the answer is what it is. All right, so on this one right here, number one, it's really simple. Okay, that's what they have for the slope. That's what they have for the y-intercept. So the slope goes in front of the x. Y-intercept goes at the end. So y equals -3/2x plus 1. And then obviously you can see it's the third answer. Y equals -3/2x plus 1. All right. Going to the next one. So it says, write a slope-intercept equation, that means y equals mx plus b, of the line with a slope of 1/2 that passes through the point -2, 2. You can see that the answer is y equals 1/2 x plus 3. How did we get that? All right, so on number two, all right, you've got a point, you've got a slope, so what you need is the point slope setup. All right, and yes, you are required to show this work. This is part of the points on the test. All right, so it's really simple. Slope goes in the middle, x by the x, because remember, that's the x, that's the y, x by the x, y by the y. That turns into a positive, and then you distribute. 1/2 times x is 1/2 x. 1/2 times 2 is 1. Drop this down. Whoops. Add over 2. That cancels out, and you get y equals 1/2 x plus 3. And then, obviously, when I switch it back, you'll see that the answer right here on number 2 is y equals 1/2 x plus 3. And that's how you would actually punch it in on the test. All right? Okay, number 3. So this time, they give you another slope and another point. So you work it the exact same way, okay, on number 3. So you use the point slope setup. Literally the exact same problem that we just did. So slope goes in the middle, x by the x, y by the y. And then obviously that turns into a plus. -3 over 4 times x, -4 over 3 times x is -4 over 3x. -4 over 3 times -3 is actually +4. Okay, drop this down. Subtract that to the other side. And you get y equals -4 over 3x and then plus 2. So -4 over 3x plus 2. And then when I go back, you can clearly see that right here is the answer on number 3. -4 over 3 is what you would type in, and then plus, and then there's your x in the middle, plus, and then 2. All right, number 4. Okay, it says write a slope-intercept equation. So again, y equals mx plus, but this time you've got 2 points. So on this one, what you need is you need the slope formula and the point slope formula. So for the slope formula, remember x, y, drop the x's, or I'm sorry, drop the y's down on top, drop the x's down on bottom, and then do the math. So that would be 2 over 3. So that goes in the middle. And then you get to choose your point. I'm going to go with probably the first one because there's no negatives. All right. So x by the x, y by the y, and then distribute. So 2 over 3 times x is 2 over 3x. 2 over 3 times negative 6 is negative 4. Drop this down, add that over, y equals 2 over 3x, and then minus 3. That would be your answer. And then I scroll back to number 4, and then you see right here, y equals 2 over 3x plus, and then obviously there's your negative 3 for number 4. All right. Number 5, okay, so same thing. You're given 2 points, and you have to do the exact same thing. So you need a slope set up. You also need a point slope set up. So drop the x's, y's down on top. So negative 4 and negative 2, that obviously turns into a positive. Drop the x's down on bottom, exactly the way that they are. So that would be negative 2 over 8, which would be negative 1/4. All right, so that goes right here. So negative 1/4. And actually, I'll make that look a little bit better. So negative 1/4. All right, because remember, you have to reduce the fraction. So now we choose our point. There's really no good choice in this, okay, because there's negatives on both sides. So I'm just going with a smaller number. So meaning I'll go with that one right there. So x by the x, y by the y. Remember, net minus a negative is a positive. And now we distribute. Negative 1/4 times x is negative 1/4 x. Negative 1/4 times negative 4 would actually be positive 1. Drop this down. Subtract that to the other side because it's positive. That way we can cancel it out. Y equals, make this a better y. Y equals negative 1/4 x and then minus 1. All right, and then when you flip it back to number 5, right here to the practice test, you can clearly see that the answer is negative 1/4, okay, and then obviously x plus, and then negative 1 is your y-intercept. So really what you're doing on these problems right here, okay, number 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, what you're doing is you're typing in the slope for the first answer and the y-intercept for the second answer, all right? Because your x plus is already in the middle. All right, now, number 6, okay, word problem. It says, write a linear equation in slope-intercept form to model the situation. An icicle is originally 7 inches long and melts, meaning that's going to be going down, melts at a rate of 4 inches per hour. All right, so I think I wrote this over here. Yep, I sure did. So let's look at this right here. It says, write the linear equation in slope-intercept form to model the situation. An icicle is originally 7 inches long and melts at a rate of 4 inches per hour. So obviously, y equals negative 4x, okay? And then it also says it was originally 7 inches long, so plus 7. So now, obviously in the answer, they're going to want an L and a T, all right? So it says at the end, it says let L represent the icicle length and T represent the T in time. So if you're having trouble with that, let's just go ahead and look at the labels, all right? Remember, you got to label everything anyway. So it melts at a rate, okay, of 4 inches per what? Hour. Okay? And if you're looking for the y-intercept, well, look for the 7, okay? Because that's the y-intercept. You're looking for the y label. 7 what? 7 inches. Okay? So in the last sentence, if they're saying let L represent the icicle in length and T represent the time, so you're going to have L equals negative 4T plus 7. That's the way that it's going to be. Because if length is in inches and then T is in time, obviously that's the way that it's going to go. And then if you scroll back, okay, so obviously this is our answer right here. L equals negative 4T plus 7. And then we go back right here. Okay, you can see that on number 6, on my version, they're probably scrambled on your version, but you can see that L does equal negative 4T plus 7. All right? And you can rewind and fast forward this video if you don't understand it, okay, until you actually do understand it. All right, number 7 and 8. So number 7, pretty simple. Beach Bike Rental charges $6 plus 30 cents per mile to rent a bicycle. All right. So here is, I actually kind of try to make it how it looks on your practice test. So it charges 30 cents per mile. Well, that's your rate. So 0.30. And then it charges $6 originally, so that's your initial value. So if you go back to number 7, obviously right here, I'm blowing it up, you can see that 0.3 is your rate, that's in front of the M, all right, or that would technically be the X, and then 6 is going to be your initial value. Now, number 8. Says, what is the cost, and I think I have it over here, and again, you have to show this work, all right? It says, what is the cost of riding a bicycle, of renting a bicycle and riding 15 miles. 15 what? Okay, so you know that and in this one, technically, you have M, all right, and then you have C. Cost is going to be in dollars. M is going to be in miles, so obviously that's pretty simple. Okay, so you're going to plug this in for miles, meaning this is going to be plugged in for M. So what you would have is, and if you get confused, then just put an X here and put a Y here, all right? I mean, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. It doesn't matter the letter, all right? It matters how you calculate it, okay? So if you're like, dang, that C and that M throws me off, then just freaking do this, okay? Just mark that out, and then, meaning on your paper, okay? And then put a Y and an X, all right? It's the same thing, okay? You can do that. I will accept it, all right? So now, you would say 0, so we say C equals 0.3, and then obviously you're going to plug in 15 like that because you're plugging it in for M, okay, or X, and then plus 6. And then when you do the math, okay, 0.3 times 15 is 4.5. plus 6, and $10, and I'll write it actually in the answer box. $10.50 would be the answer that you drag into this spot. So meaning I'll go back, and then I'll show you right here, okay, on the practice test, you've got all these different answers right here. So, I mean, drag the correct answer into the box. $10.50. Okay? Now, going back to, that was number 8. So number 9, it says write an equation for the following graph. Okay? So on this equation right here, and you're not going to be able to see me write on this, okay, but you can kind of, I'll try to do my best to explain where my pencil is. Okay, so first thing, all right, if you're writing an equation, okay, you need to know what the slope is. And you got to find 2 clean points. Well, you can see right here, and I'm going to shrink this if I can a little bit. Okay, you can see that on the y-axis, the line crosses right at a clean point on the y-axis. It also crosses at a clean point on the x-axis. So you can actually use those 2 points to get your slope. So we're going to start on the y-intercept, which is -3. Okay? And for the slope, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 over 5. Okay, is our slope. So 3 over 5x. And then we go back, our y-intercept. I'm going to blow it up right here. Okay, if you count down from the middle, is -3. So -3. So that would be our answer. Y equals 3 over 5x minus 3. All right, and then if you go back, okay, then what you should have done is you should have drug the 3 over 5x into the slope, okay, and then you would drag the -3, okay, over here for the y. And I don't know why those x's are in there on those, okay, I have no idea, okay, they shouldn't be there. So you should drag the 3 over 5 and the -3. Those are the answers. Okay, those x's, I don't know why those are there. They shouldn't be. So you'll know the answers to drag in. Because if you look on here, there are no other 3 over 5, meaning positive 3 over 5, and there's no other -3. All right. So right here on number 10, same thing. Write the equation for the following graph. So what you see here is you got to find 2 clean points. All right. And you can use the y-intercept and the x-intercept on this again if you want. Okay. They're pretty far apart. But, I mean, there are other clean points. You may just have to reduce the fraction. All right. So if you look right here, I'm going to actually show you. The y-intercept is a clean point. And then if you look right here at this point right here, okay, that is 4, 3. This point right here, you can see that that's a clean point too. So we're going to use those 2 points. Meaning from the y-intercept, which is at 6 right now, to get to the next clean point, I would go down 1, 2, 3. So that would be -3. And then right 1, 2, 3, 4. So -3 over 4. And then obviously that's with an x. And then my y-intercept is at 6 right here. You can see clearly that that's at 6. So plus 6. So y equals -3 over 4x plus 6. And I know I'm switching back and forth quite a bit. Okay, so right here you would drag -3 over 4. and then drag in 6. And again, I don't know why those X's are there on those particular ones. Doesn't make any sense, but you could clearly see that there's only one negative 3 over 4, and then there's only one positive 6. So you drag the correct answers into the correct boxes. All right. Number 11, okay? Write the y equals mx plus b equation. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to show you. So pretty simple. On these problems right here, you actually do have a true trend, okay? So remember, it's y over x, all right? So if you look at the y's, that's down 2, that's down 2, down 2, down 2. So y is negative 2. And then for the x, down 4, down 4, down 4, down 4. So the x is negative 4. Remember, negative over negative is a positive, and it reduces to 1/2. So your slope is 1/2. Now, y-intercept, okay? You have to find the y-intercept, so you find the you find the 0 in the x column, and then the number across from it. So there's the 0 in the x column. So the y-intercept is going to be 2. All right? So now, the equation, okay? On the equation, all you have to do is put them in the right spot. So y equals, the slope is 1/2 x. The y-intercept is plus 2. So now you just find the correct answer that has all three of these. 1/2 slope, y-intercept of 2, and then y equals 1/2 x plus 2. So when we go back, all right, to the, when we go back to the actual practice test, you can see that right here on this one, my second choice, and yours might be scrambled, okay, but you can see where the answer is marked on this one. Okay, you can see that there's a slope of 1/2, there's the y-intercept of 2, and then there's y equals 1/2 x plus 2. Number 12 is exactly the same way. Okay, so what you're going to do on number 12 is the exact same thing. So again, it's y over x. So y is down 2, down 2. All of them are down 2. And then the x, that's up 3, up 3, up 3, up 3. So negative 2 over 3. The y-intercept, okay, you have to find the 0 in the x column. The number across from it, well, there it is, right there. So your y-intercept is 4. So y equals negative 2 over 3x plus 4. And then when you scroll back, okay, you can see that there it is right there. The slope is negative 2 over 3. The y-intercept is 4. And then the equation is y equals negative 2 over 3x plus 4. All right? Yours may be scrambled in a different way. So your answer may not be D. Your answer may be like A. Okay? So you just need to make sure to find the correct slope, correct y-intercept, correct equation. And they will be scrambled on the test. So it would be dumb to copy off of somebody else. All right? Now, this one right here, 13. It says determine whether the table is linear or nonlinear. All right? So I've got the table written right here, 13. So remember, it has to be the same trend in the y column or change in trend in the y column, or the same trend or change in y trend in the x column. Now, these are going to be easier than the ones that you had on your practice test, or I'm sorry, the ones on your study guide and the ones that we did the previous days. So, y over x. So that is down 4, down 4, down 4, okay? And then if you look at this one, okay, and let me make sure I wrote this down right. Okay, so for the first one, 13, 10, 6, 2, negative 2. So I missed a negative in there. All right, so that would be negative 2. Okay. So what we've got is 10 to 6 is down 4. 2 to negative 4 is down 4. Negative 2 to negative 6 is also down 4. All right, so that one's good. Go to the x's. So negative 5 to negative 2 is up 3. Negative 2 to 1 is also up 3. And then 1 to 4 is up 3. 4 to 7 is up 3. So negative 4 over 3, okay, number 13 should be linear. And that's what you see, okay? It's linear because everything in the y column is down 4. Everything in the x column is up 3, so negative 4 over 3, and it's linear. The next one, number 14. So again, we do y over x. So right here, that's up 2, up 2, up 2, up 2. That was pretty simple. So right here, number 14, 5 to 3 is down 2. 3 to 1 is down 2. 1 to negative 2. That's actually down 3. So we've got down 2, down 2, down 3. You automatically know that this one is nonlinear. All right? Automatically. If one of the numbers is off, like this, we've got down 2, down 2, down 3, boom, automatic, nonlinear. And then you'll see right here on number 14, it's marked as nonlinear. All right? Now, this is the big chunk of points that's going to be on your test. Okay? I'm going to want this worked out exactly the way that I worked this out on the sheet of paper. This is for your work that you're going to turn in that's worth points at the end of the test. So it says, take these equations and put them in slope-intercept form, meaning y equals mx plus b. So, here we are right here. This is what I'm going to expect to see on your paper. So, step 1, take the x, move it to the other side, and change the sign. Step number 2, drop the y down, drop the number down. Okay? And then divide. So you get y equals 12 over 9 reduces to 4 over 3x and then plus 3. Like so. All right? And then the next one, same thing. Take the x, move it to the other side, and change the sign. Step 2, drop the y down, drop your number down, and then divide. All right? So you get y equals negative over negative is a positive, so 4 over 3x minus 1. All right? So let's check our equations. So the first one should be 4 over 3x plus 3. So if you look right here, boom, 4 over 3x, that's your slope. 3 is your y-intercept. The second one should be 4 over 3 minus 1. All right? So we got 4 over 3 minus 1. And if you can see, the slopes are the exact same, so that would be parallel. So what you would do is you would drag the parallel right here into the correct box. So correct slope, correct y-intercept for that equation, correct slope, correct y-intercept for the second equation, making sure you show your work, and then drag the correct word into the box. Now, guys, I'm not going to lie to you, okay? On this one right here, you should not miss a problem like this. It says which graph matches the equations, okay? Guys, if you actually do number 15 right, then all you got to do is punch your answer into Desmos. So meaning like right here, y equals 4 over 3x plus 3. So y equals 4 over 3, make sure you move over, okay, 4 over 3x, and then plus 3. Then you click this little number 2 over here to get a second equation. And then you would have y equals 4 over 3x. Make sure you move over. Make sure you put your x and then minus 1. That's what it should look like, okay? And if you look at your intercepts, meaning your y-intercepts, you'll have one at 3 and one at -1. So now we go back and find which one that is. So obviously that is a perpendicular graph, so that's not it. So you've got one right here. You've got a y-intercept at 3 and a y-intercept at 1, but your slopes are positive 4 over 3. These are going down, so that's not the answer. Aha! You've got a y-intercept at 3, a y-intercept at -1. The slopes are going up at 4 over 3. This would be your answer right here. So for mine, it was the third one. Then obviously that's a perpendicular, so it has to be the third one right here. And that's what it would look like. Number 17, same exact type of problem. You have two of these. So what it wants you to do, okay, is put the equations into y equals mx plus b. All right, and again, this is worth points, showing me your work. So step 1, take the x, move it to the other side, and change the sign. Step 2, drop the y down and drop your number down. Step 3, divide all the way across. Yes, this is worth points. Make sure you reduce the fraction, okay? So this would be your first equation. I need to see this work. It is worth points. If you do not show me this on the test, I will count off for it, okay? And then the second equation. So step 1, take the x, move it to the other side, and change the sign. Step 2, drop the y down, drop your number down, and then divide all the way across. So y equals 8 over 4 is technically 2 over 1, or just 2, and then minus 2. So you can clearly see on these slopes, -1 over 2, positive 2 over 1, that's going to be perpendicular. All right? So in the boxes, you would need to type in -1/2 and 4 for the first one. So you can clearly see right here, -1/2 and 4. And then for the second one, okay, you would need to type in 2 and -2. Because you don't type in 2 over 1, just type in 2. All right? So you can see 2 in the first one, -2 in the second one. And I just showed you that they're perpendicular. So right here, you drag the perpendicular answer into the correct space. And then the last one, you do the exact same thing. Okay, you take your answers, which hopefully you got them right, and then you go to Desmos Graphing Calculator. And obviously, we want to clear these out. Whoops, womp womp. Okay, so we go ahead and, where's my back button? Whoops. Go ahead and backspace, clear them out. Whoops, come on. There we go. All right, so the first one was y equals 1/2 x. Make sure you move over. Okay. Whoops, not plus. 1/2 x. And then it was plus 4. Like so. And then the second equation that we got was 2x minus 2. So we go ahead and type in y equals 2x minus 2. And then you can clearly see what it looks like. Okay? So you can see that the kind of the little x is on the right side of the y-axis. And you can see that you've got a y-intercept of 4 and a y-intercept of -2. And then you just got to match that graph, okay, to the ones in your answers. So right here, whoops, wrong one. So right here on the first one on mine, you can clearly see that the little x is on the right side, all right? And then you've got a y-intercept of 4, a y-intercept of -2, and then you can check your slopes. So up 2, right 1, so the green line fits. Down 1, right 2, so the red line fits. So that's your answer right here, the first one. Obviously on this one's perpendicular too, but look where the x is, meaning it's on the left side. So meaning it's backwards. That's parallel, so that's not perpendicular, and that's also not perpendicular. Those are parallel, all right? So obviously the first answer was your correct choice, and that's how you would do it. I would type them into Desmos and compare the graphs. Then at the very end, number 19, okay, what you would do is you would just turn in your sheet to me. All right, make sure that they are all numbered, the problems that you show work on, okay? And I'm just going to be real with you, you guys. The problems that you should show work on, I'm going over them right now. Number 2. Number 3. And yes, on the test, these are the ones you should show work on. Number 4. So you can actually go through this video and mark them down. Number 5. Okay. I should see something on number 8. $12 and $13. I'm sorry, 11 and 12, it's iffy, okay? You can show work or you can not show work. 13 and 14, same thing. 15, for sure. 17, for sure. I need to see work, all right? So if you want me to write down all the numbers again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, for sure, 15 and 17. I should see work on these problems on the test. 100% for sure. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 problems on the test that I should see work on that will be graded for points. Hopefully this helps with the practice test. Hopefully this HD version, it will be up on this sooner rather than later. Sometimes it takes it a while to process.